He folded a wire in half, wrapped it around a pipe, and now he managed to tighten it better than a clamp. Man, do you think it'll really hold strong like that? Let's test it. Here's a pipe and a hose. When I put one inside the other, they don't stay very tight, right? So we're going to try to fix that now. I have a wire, and I'll fold it in half like in the video, folding it straight. What do you think of this technique? You won't need to have a nipper, you won't need to have pliers. You'll be able to do this just using a wire and a nail, a screw, something like that to use as leverage. Let's see if it really works. Let me clamp it in the vise so we can do this test. So if you have a pipe that you need to clamp somewhere, if you don't have a clamp, if there's nothing available for you to look for the material, you can solve it this way. It fits just right, but not enough to hold it in place. If I hold it here with my hand, it has grip. So let's see if it'll be stronger with the clamp. Leave the wire bent here, then I need to wrap it around twice. I come like this with one turn, and then it goes around again and gets there. Usually now, what we would do is grab a pair of pliers, a tool, and squeeze the two together. Sometimes it breaks when you do this, but he says it gets firmer if done this way. I'm going to hold it with 2 fingers and bend it a little. See how it loops? Then he uses the screw to cross both parts here. See? Next, we'll start turning this. The good thing about this technique is that if this really stays firm, you can solve a lot of little problems without needing to have the proper tool. Maybe you have a loose pipe at home and you don't have pliers. Or maybe you go to someone's house and see some problem there. Then you find a nail and solve the person's problem in a MacGyver way, right? Let's see if this will really tighten. Look, at first it's tightening well. Will I be able to remove this screw from here later?
It broke. Look, the wire already broke. It keeps twisting and breaking, just like if you were using pliers.
And look, this turned out kind of loose. Let's see if this thing is firm. I'm going to position it more to the side here in the vise, so we can get a better angle to pull this and see how much force it takes. If we adjust it like this, use fewer turns but repeat more often, it might grab more points and increase friction, making it firmer. Look, this top part here didn't hold at all, it's really loose, but there are some here that are tight. When I try to turn it here, it feels more resistant than before. Of the 4 we put in, only 2 locked in place. Look, there are 2 here. Look, one came completely loose and the second one is all loose here. The other 2 locked in place. But if I pull here, look. It's a bit harder to take out now, okay? Maybe if the pipe was that corrugated kind, maybe it would have even stayed in place because it tightened. Since it broke early, it didn't stay firm. But look, to put it back, we can see that there is some resistance there. Yeah, it works. If you need a quick fix and don't have pliers, you can solve your problem. It's not like using pliers. Pliers are better. Still, the idea is approved.